Welcome to the 60 Plus podcast.
I'm Janet.
And I'm Joe. How are you today, Janet?
I'm great.
You're great.
Yeah, I'm doing real well. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's
Better than last week?
much better than last week.
That's a relief.
Yeah, it was not my favorite week.
No. And I did not like being associated with it at all.
You were across the table from me, and you were.
Well, the jury's still out. It's only been a week, so we'll see. Knock on wood here.
Yeah, last week I had a stomach bug for people that may not know what we're talking about. And it wasn't fun. Let's just say that.
No, and we probably shouldn't spend too much time on it, but
Let's get into
glad
some
you're
graphic
feeling
detail
better.
about my stomach
No,
bug.
thank you. I'll pass on that one.
Yeah, I would like to have passed on that one. What are we talking about today, Janet?
Well, today we're doing a Mythbuster.
Isn't that hard to say?
It really is.
Mythbuster.
It's a Mythbuster. And what's the myth that we're busting, you ask? Well,
Okay, what's the myth that we're busting?
well, we're going to be talking about this idea of memory loss over 60, that we all kind of start losing our memory.
Okay.
Is that a myth?
Apparently, we're doing an episode on it.
Yes, it is actually. But we've all been there, right? It's like, oh my God, what did I do with my car keys? The other day, I went to the wrong floor when I went to go to my classroom to teach.
Okay.
And that was a little embarrassing for myself.
I frequently find myself in a room
Mm,
and say, why did I come into this room?
right.
I wouldn't say frequently. It happens occasionally.
How often, Joe?
Well, I don't know why I'm here.
What are we doing again?
What are we doing?
What's
Why are these microphones in front of us?
Wait, what's this episode about?
I think it's about stomach bugs.
Oh, no, it's about memories.
Okay.
Okay? So we're going to bust this myth that, we're going to get old, so we're going to lose our memory. Well, that's apparently not true. However, we will recognize that most of us will experience, maybe some form of memory loss, because I guess as you age, there are some factors that could lead to short-term memory declining.
I think it's just because your brain's full.
Well, that could be in some people's
I
cases.
can't believe you agreed with that.
Well, I think you get distracted, and like when you run upstairs and you're like went for a specific purpose.
That's what I just.
But then you're like, oh wait, I didn't make my bed. Then you like have to do that, and then you're like, oh God, I didn't get my phone.
I don't think that's memory
Then you have
loss.
to go
I think
back
that's
upstairs
attention
again.
deficit something.
Oh yes, I think I have that. Yeah. So anyway,
So the special episode of Attention Deficit Disorder, brought to you by Janet.
Okay, so we're still on track here to talk about
think
memory
so.
loss. So we did come across this interesting article from the Alzheimer's Society of Canada. So
They're so nice up there.
yes, they are. And do you know that 4% of our listeners are from Canada?
I did know that.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It was exciting to learn.
So here's
that.
a shout out to our Canadian listeners.
Yeah, hey.
Okay, so it says most of us will experience no problems with memory. None.
I told Janet to speak up into the microphone a little bit more this week.
Now I'm shouting.
She's really complying.
Most of us will continue to have strong memories as we age. Our ability to remember will not decline rapidly or substantively. In old age, we will retain the skills and knowledge learned throughout our lives. Isn't that exciting?
It is exciting because what is it that you think people are most concerned about with memory loss?
Well, dementia.
They think it's Alzheimer's. They think it's dementia.
Right. And if you forget your car keys, you're like, oh my God, I'm getting dementia. And no, that's not the case.
If you forget what your car keys are for, that might be dementia. But if you just forget where you put them, it's just...
Or like where they go once you get in the car.
Okay.
What am I supposed to do with these keys? That would be a concern, yes.
When I got the car that I have now, which doesn't require to insert a key, it was very confusing for me. I would get in the car and I didn't know what to do.
How long did it take you to figure it out? Did you have to look at the manual?
No, it was just out of force of habit of
Right.
putting a key in the
Sure.
ignition.
Sure. So here's the thing. So most of us will experience no problems with memory. Some of us will experience memory loss. Almost 40% of us will experience some form of memory loss after we turn 65.
Okay.
That's what it says here. But even if we experience memory loss, chances are still unlikely that we have dementia. So that is the concern, the unspoken, the elephant in the room. And so this article is very hopeful in that sense. And for the most part, it says our memory loss is mild enough that we can still live our day to day lives without interruption. And here's another statistic that I thought was interesting. Joe, I'm sorry, did you want to read this one about what percent?
I don't know where you are. Where am I?
All right, I'll continue. The WHO estimates that after we turn 60 years old, 5 to 8% of us will live with dementia at some point.
At some point. It
At some point.
could be at very end of life.
But that's a lot lower percentage than I anticipated.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I thought it was higher.
Yeah, because you do hear about it. Of course, some of us have parents who've had it, and it's very disturbing. And certainly, we don't want to end up with that. So, there is some age associated memory impairment at some point, perhaps, but not for the bulk of us. It goes on, this article, to talk about some of the things that you can do to prevent this idea of short term memory loss. The good news is we don't tend to lose our ability for long term memory.
Okay, so and short-term memory it's not really what most people think it is. Short-term memory is extremely short-term. It's like 20 to 30 seconds.
Right.
It's not like what you had for lunch today.
Right. Wait, what'd you say?
She's shuffling papers over there. And she was distracted by a shiny object across the room. And a squirrel ran outside.
It's not memory, folks. It's ADD, as we already determined. So there's different types of memory, including sensory, short-term, and long-term. And these three different types of memory, the three processes occur differently and vary from person to person.
Like most anything, right?
Right. So one of the things that they mention in this other article that we have here is why short-term memory might decline faster than for younger people. And it has to do with loss of hormones, right?
hmm
Proteins that are designed to repair the brain. I guess there's a loss of
We
those.
stop producing the proteins.
Right. And the third thing is lack of, and this one's the most interesting, I think, for everybody, is the blood flow
Blood
to
circulation.
to the brain, right?
Okay.
And there's a really easy fix for that one. Activity.
Activity will help. And I did read something else about the Mediterranean diet,
Yeah.
which also helps clear your arteries.
Right.
So that will help blood flow.
Right. So we started digging into this and saying, okay, so let's take for granted maybe that most of us won't have a problem, but if you're starting to feel like maybe you are losing a little bit of your short term memory, there are some things that you can do.
Such as?
So the sustained, moderate, intense aerobic exercise, like pickleball.
Pickleball.
Yay, pickleball.
Pickleball's what started the 60 plus
Yeah,
podcast.
or just
really.
walking, right? And so you're walking at a fast enough speed, I think. It says moderate intensity aerobic exercise. I've also heard that activity where you have to also think at the same time perhaps promotes that blood flow all the way to the brain. Things like dance, when you're learning new dance steps, it's something near and dear to my heart. Ping pong, pickleball,
Pickleball.
right? So that's all great and fun. And then there's these proteins, I guess, that can repair brain cells, beta celluline, BTC. Don't
Okay,
know about how you're supposed to get that, but
Can you just go to CVS and just
maybe.
ask the guy in the red vest,
Yeah.
where you get
Hey, dude,
BTC?
where's the BTC? Yeah.
and he says, "No, that's at the CBD store down the street."
So, yeah, but that was something that is actually, they've been experimenting on mice with that it actually boosts.
You were pointing at yourself when you
Right.
said that.
This is a podcast, Joe. You don't have to tell all this, the other.
I thought you were going to say they were testing it on me.
I'm not a mouse. Although I may squeak one like.
Once in a while. Makes my editing job a little more tricky.
Okay. So anyway, there's stuff that they're experimenting with, clearly, right? I mean, there's a lot going on in the science of brain health and whatnot. So that's good news for us too, hopefully someday.
Hopefully.
But go ahead.
So it's interesting that you mentioned the car key thing
Mm-hmm.
because I'm reading an article from Johns Hopkins Medicine, hopkinsmedicine.org. And it says, if you forget your car keys, that's not unusual. That's not a big deal. Oh, it actually, I didn't even read this ahead of time. But if you forget what the car keys are used for, that's a red flag.
Wait a minute. We
I
just
did,
said that.
I know, but I
Oh my
didn't read that
God, we're
ahead.
just as smart as John Hopkins.
I'm as smart as Johns Hopkins. I like John Hopkins is a really good guy too.
It's Johns Hopkins.
There's two of them?
All right, stop being so silly.
So a couple of things that they say you can do. If it's good for your heart, it's good for your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's aerobic exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Doing puzzles and Sudoku and crossword puzzles, although they
Mhm.
say the benefits of that are limited. It's a good form of memory training,
Right.
but as soon as you stop doing them, you lose any benefit that you got from it.
Hmm.
And doing crosswords and Sudoku will help, but it's not going to help you remember where you put your car keys
No.
or like someone's name if you're not good
Right.
with names.
Right.
Apparently, I've had memory loss since I was 12 because I can't remember anyone's
Mm.
name.
Well, there are techniques to remember names too.
There are?
Yes.
Can you clue me in?
Sure, I can. So as soon as you meet somebody, you
Repeat
repeat
their
the
name.
name as many times as necessary.
That would be about 100 for
And then
me.
you click your heels 3 times.
And say
And
there's
the-
no place like home. There's no
Right.
place like
But
home.
then the other thing is that I always associate their name with something that reminds me of them. I met somebody whose name was Elaine the other day, and she was really funny. So I thought about Seinfeld and Elaine on Seinfeld, and I'll probably won't forget her name now.
Okay. Well, that's like the memory palace that people use to remember a series of things.
Hmm.
They associate it with something else.
Right. But repeating it, so it's so nice to meet you, Elaine.
Did you know there was someone on Seinfeld named Elaine? When I met you, you know how I remembered your name? I think it's a song from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
Is it from the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Damn it, Janet.
Yes.
Yes, that's how I remembered your name.
Oh.
Damn it,
okay.
Janet. It was on the pickleball
The
court.
river was wide, but I swam it.
Damn it, Janet. No, you would miss an easy shot and I'd go, damn it, Janet. That's it,
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I'm joking.
It's
That's not how
fine. It's okay, Joe. It's okay. I'm not hurt in any way, shape, or
I
form.
thought you were going to say, it's okay, Fred.
What's your name?
Yeah, exactly. I like the thinking, I'm a simple guy. If it's good for your heart, it's good for your brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great rule of thumb.
Yeah. And I also, there's other things here. They talk about social interactions.
Mm,
So isolation is something you want to avoid, that those social interactions feed your brain, which is great. There's also a list of foods that are really helpful to the brain. You mentioned the Mediterranean diet, but the number one food listed here, which I personally adore, is dark chocolate.
very good.
So I'm so glad I eat that every day. Fatty fish,
Hmm.
flaxseed oil.
I drink a lot of flaxseed oil
You do?
by the gallon.
Well, you can, I guess, you can
Oh,
put it in, ew. Uh, I don't know if you can cook with it because I'm not sure what the flash point is, but you can put it in like smoothies and things like that.
Okay.
There's also flaxseed.
I do put
So-
flax seeds in my smoothies when
Well,
I make
that's
them.
good. There you go.
Yep.
Very good. Chia, I think, is also good. Dark leafy greens.
So like Swiss chard and
Yeah,
kale and
sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
broccoli and
Yeah.
things like that.
Very good. Yes, Joe. Walnuts and pumpkin
I
seeds.
feel so affirmed when you give me that. Yes, Joe.
Walnuts and pumpkin seeds, and probably other nuts too, like almonds and things like that. Berries, which I
have
have
berries every
almost
day.
Every day.
Every day.
Eggs and avocados together for some reason,
Avocado,
which I often do,
I've always got avocado ripening and ripe.
and meat.
Ooh.
I guess that's the protein, right? The amino acids and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But however,
Not in excess.
the number one worst food to eat in terms of memory is processed meats and cheese.
So things like bacon and ham,
Yes, and
uh,
deli
deli
meats.
meats. Yep.
Yeah, which I don't particularly like anyway. So
Mm.
I think I'm doing okay from a diet standpoint.
I am too.
One of the number one beverages is coffee.
Coffee.
So when I have my second cup of coffee with my dark chocolate, I'm really boosting my brain functioning.
She's remembering all kinds of things. And as soon as she's done that cup of coffee, it's like, oh, I forgot. It's like a dream. I forgot as soon as I woke up.
So, but what is the worst beverage you can have?
Alcohol. Yeah.
No mezcal for you.
I haven't had mezcal in a while, but red
Well-
wine. I had some red wine last night.
Oh, you did. That was probably the first you had, right? Since you're
In about a week. Yes.
Doug.
So, yeah, I thought we weren't talking about that.
Well, we weren't, but you brought it up again, so. Oh, guys,
I don't think I did.
obsessed with
I
it.
don't think I did.
Like, you're like one of those. Do you get sick and you're like, oh,
No. Ask anybody that knows me well, that's known me when I'm sick. It's leave me alone.
oh, okay, yeah.
Leave me
I
alone.
respect that. I respect that.
Factors that can be harming your memory. You said alcohol.
Mm.
Depression.
Yeah.
Depression makes your brain have trouble filing away information.
Huh.
So that's where social interaction helps, because isolation is one of the other
Well,
things.
also physical activity,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because often when you're depressed, you might be on the couch a lot, or you
Mhm.
might not even be able to get out of bed, with severe depression.
Well,
which
that's
is-
severe depression. You should see
yeah, that's
professional.
really.
You shouldn't be
yeah.
listening to us.
No, no, we are
Seriously,
not
no.
experts in the field.
Although the alcohol part, we're pretty professional at that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
We didn't have any alcohol today. I should point out.
I haven't had any alcohol yet. No.
Well, it's 9:30 in the morning.
No, it's not. It's nearly 2:00. It's 5:00 somewhere.
Yeah. All right. So, what are the big takeaways here for 60 plus podcast listeners?
Well, I think the myth being that, oh, you're 60 plus, you're going to lose, your memory, you're going to lose your mind, is for most of us not the case at all. And if you are, nervous about it, there are some things that you can actively do
Mm-hmm.
to try and stave it off. So I think that's all positive.
So, we're supposed to drink heavily by ourselves on the couch. Is that what you're saying?
Eat dark chocolate, drink coffee.
Okay.
That was my takeaway.
So, what about like Irish coffee? Irish coffee would be a good memory booster.
That has
Beverage.
alcohol in it.
Oh, I thought alcohol was good.
No, alcohol's not
I
good.
forgot.
Bad.
I forgot.
Alcohol, bad.
Okay. Does the alcohol offset the coffee, so it's like a wash?
No, Joe. No, no, that's not true. I don't think you're getting the message here.
Maybe not. Maybe
Is
not.
this, what is that? Selective memory?
I-
I think that's a different form of memory that we're talking about here.
I think I need to go back and listen to this episode
You might need to listen to this
because I
or
forgot
maybe
what we said.
read the material.
I know we've got papers all over the table
I
here.
know. There's just so much about the subject.
It really is.
Yeah.
Some good sources are hopkinsmedicine.org.
And that's Johns Hopkins.
Yes, the two guys named John. And what's the Canadian site that we saw? Is it
Alzheimer's.ca.
Alzheimer's.ca? Because it's in Canada.
Yeah. Because we love our Canadian.
We do. Our
listeners.
4% of listeners.
Yep.
How do they find us, do you think?
I don't know.
We should ask them. If you're a Canadian listener,
Please.
please leave it in the Spotify comments. Please leave a note.
Or you can email us too.
60pluspodcast@gmail.com. 60 plus spelled out
Mhm.
podcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Canadian listener, send us an email.
Can they comment on our Facebook page too?
They can comment on our Facebook page. It's 60 Plus Podcast. We've launched, but haven't really done much with the Instagram page. That's going to be coming this week.
Yeah.
But they can just comment on the Spotify page too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Or whatever platform they're on, probably, right?
I think I'm going to. The question this week will be: if you're Canadian, let us know. How did you find us?
Well, we have some UK listeners too.
We do. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
We're worldwide.
Yeah. We're
Right here.
global.
Right here from our little studio.
Brought to you live, but going global.
Exactly.
60 plus.
All right. So if it's good for the heart, it's good for the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Doing crosswords and Sudoku and that kind of thing, it helps,
Activity.
but you've got to keep it up. And the aerobic exercise while you're thinking about what you're doing.
Yes. Yes.
So line dancing.
Line dancing, any kind of dancing.
That
where
would,
you're
you know
learning
what?
new
Line
steps.
dancing would make me melt. Like my brain would just shut down.
It's fun.
Is
It's
it?
hard though. Some of those dances are really hard to get because there are a lot of moves and it's not necessarily intuitive.
Well, I like intuitive.
Yeah. So, but that's why it's good because,
Drink a big cup of coffee and go line dancing.
and eat chocolate in between your
And eat
dances.
dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Has to be dark.
I know. I'm more partial to milk chocolate.
No, not me. Mm-mm.
know.
No, I'm good. 72% all the way.
72%. That's
Pretty dark. I can sometimes even go up to 80.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
That's like chalk.
No, it's not. It's really good. But that's me.
And Mediterranean diet.
Mediterranean diet
Mediterranean diet.
and all the foods that I mentioned.
Fatty fish, olive oil,
Yeah. Berries.
fruits,
mm.
vegetables, nuts. All
You
of
know,
that.
I thought it was interesting that eggs with avocado, because I have actually been putting my eggs in my avocado,
That's really good.
like a little avocado cup.
Do you do anything to the avocado? Are you
I put
cooking it?
chili peppers and salt.
Are you
on.
putting it under the broiler or anything?
No,
No?
no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, make sure it's ripe and
Mhm.
it's good, and I just cut it in half. I only eat half an avocado at a time.
Because they're loaded with fat.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good fat.
Yeah, but it's good fat, and I put the eggs right in there.
Mhm.
Sometimes I put a little goat cheese and some microgreens on top.
Unprocessed goat cheese.
Unprocessed goat cheese.
Yes, because the processed cheese
Yes,
is
we don't
not.
want processed cheese. So it's a yummy little breakfast.
It sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And since it's only 9:30 in the morning, maybe we can have some. No.
It's 2:45 now.
Oh, so now we can drink.
No, no drinking.
No drinking?
Not until 5.
Oh.
Just kidding. Okay.
She really is
Just
just
kidding.
kidding.
We
You
can
don't
drink now.
wait till 5. Who ever heard of such a thing?
Okay. So I think we're done with this myth busting.
I think so. You're going to forget where your car keys are. You might forget why you walked into the room, but don't worry about that.
No.
If it's impairing your ability to function, those kinds of memory losses.
Right.
I find myself
Yeah, they
having
have a
difficulty
list,
finding
actually.
a word occasionally.
They said if you're experiencing difficulties with memory, but they are not noticeably disrupting your daily life, they are not affecting your ability to complete tasks as you usually would, you have no difficulty learning and remembering new things, and there's no underlying medical condition that is causing your memory problems, then you have what's known as age-associated memory impairment.
And it's considered to be a normal part of aging.
Right.
Doesn't mean you have dementia. So don't
No.
freak out
No.
because I think there's some
But most
psychosomatic.
of us,
kind of-
again, most of us won't feel anything, won't have any problem.
all of these articles that we printed out, they all talk about forgetting where you left your car keys.
I know. I think a lot of people do that. I don't even know if it's associated with age. I tend to put my car keys the other day. I always put them in the same drawer or they're on the counter.
Or they're in your purse.
And then the other day I
Or
couldn't
in-
find.
Were they in the pocket of the jeans that you wore the day before?
No, they were in the drawer
So why couldn't you find them?
because they were under something that wasn't
Oh,
there
yeah,
before.
that would throw anybody off. You got to get the bloodhounds out. It's under something,
It was like
It's
under
under a receipt from the
a
supermarket.
piece of paper. I was
Who
like,
would
oh
ever
my
think?
God. And of course I was rushing. And this is probably why, you start spinning out of control and then you're really never going to find anything.
I can't find my car keys. I think I have dementia. Oh wait, no, it's just this piece of paper blocking me from my car keys. I
Okay.
think you know how like if you can't find your car in the parking lot, you press the button and the car goes beep beep.
Yes.
I think there should be a button in your car that you can press to make your car keys beep.
What?
So you can go the other
That
direction.
makes no sense
Of
at
course it
all.
does.
So you're in your house and you're
Well, there'd
looking
be
for
a
your
delay.
car keys,
There'd be a delay.
and then you're going to go down into your driveway or your garage, and then you're going to beep, but then the keys are going to be in the house somewhere. How are you ever going to hear that?
Well, they beep until you find them.
Oh, I don't know, Joe. I think there are things that you can buy that you can put on your car keys that will
Like a
tie
key
to your,
ring?
that will tie. No.
So you can hang it on a hook.
No, it's called, oh gosh, it's like a tape that you can put on, and you can, I
Like an
think
Apple AirTag,
yeah.
that
mhm,
kind of a thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or you can just put them on top of the piece of paper in the drawer, and that piece of paper won't defeat your sleuthing
No,
abilities.
listen. Somebody else must have put it there. That's all I'm going to say.
There- there's a whole conspiracy of people like, who's going to put the piece of paper in Janet's
Oh,
drawer
my
today?
car keys.
Who's hiding Janet's car key under a piece of paper today? Oh, I don't know. It was my turn yesterday. She might suspect something if I do it. Do you have that many people like going through your house that like?
Well, you're the one who has the revolving door, not me.
I don't have a revolving door. I have a screen door. We've established this already. There's a screen door. It's
Yeah,
and
roll them in, roll them out,
people.
Joe.
I have many friends, and they're all welcome in my home.
That's very nice, Joe.
It is
And
very
you
nice.
do a lovely job of feeding people,
I do.
including me.
I like
Thank
to feed
you.
people,
I love to be fed.
and you're a very receptive person of free food.
Yes, I am. I get very excited.
You have neighbors that bring you food.
I do.
Do they think that you're just gonna wither away?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what's going to happen.
Janet lives where there are a lot of people that fish,
Yes,
and all season long, people are just bringing her fresh fish.
I know. It's amazing.
It's a heavy burden you
It's
bear.
amazing. I love it.
It's really
And
good.
it's on the list of things to eat. So,
Oh, that's true.
hmm maybe
Maybe
they're
they-
worried about my
I
memory.
think they are. I think they are. Well, it's nice that you have such caring neighbors that
Oh, it is. I have the best neighbors. I do. And I have the best friends. I'm a really lucky lady.
you are. All right, we're getting way off track here.
I know, but
Ah.
we had some time to fill. So,
Do you have anything you want to say before we wrap up, Janet?
well, this has been another enjoyable episode. I'm so glad that we found this information because now I don't have to be so worried about the potential of the D word.
And now we've learned that if you can't find your car keys, look under something.
Yes.
So we've shared that with all of our Canadian and UK listeners.
Everybody can benefit from that tip.
And if anybody's listening from any of the car manufacturers, just put a button in the cars to make your
No,
keys
it doesn't
beep.
make any sense at all. Don't do that.
All right. Until next time on the 60 Plus podcast, I'm Joe.
I'm Janet. Bye.